between 15 and 17 hospital projects with a core focus on emergency response. In Liberia, I'm sure everyone remembers clearly the Ebola outbreak in West Africa. So we've decided to stay in Liberia to work with the health system to help benefit the health security to hopefully ensure that an outbreak like what happened in 2014 and 15 doesn't happen again. We have a strong focus on pediatrics. And this year we're starting a pediatric surgery program, one of the only ones that exists in the country.
Wow.
And also a mental health program. In Liberia, there's only one psychiatrist for the entire country.
Wow.
And for a country that's been ravaged in the past by civil war and now Ebola, we think we can do a lot of good with mental health.
Absolutely.
Haiti, I think everyone probably remembers the
国境なし今、国境なき医師団の解説ですね、説明、どういう活動をしているか。結構市民戦争とかやっぱり、ね、シビルウォーとか、ね、俗に言うものがあるんですけど、そういうのをね、そういうので結構トラウマを持つ人がやっぱ多いんですね、戦争っていうものなんでね、やっぱり。日本はね、もう戦争、最後に戦争したの70年経ってるんで、結構そういうのはないんですけど、やっぱり今ね、世界中を見ると、やっぱり未だに戦争してるとことか、戦争だったりしてるところが、やっぱり特に南アフリカだったり、イスラム国がね、ISね、イスラミックステートみたいにああいうのもねあったりしますので、そういうところにやっぱ向かってケアしているところが多いという話ですね。
It is our biggest single donation fundraising event of the year. It is amazing what the speedrunning community can do collectively. We are essentially run by private donations, so individuals. 95% of our donations are from private individuals, like the community of speedrunners that are here today. What this does, it allows us to react. It allows us to act. We don't need to, when an emergency happens, we don't need to write donor reports or figure out how we are going to source the initial resources that we need to respond. So whether that's a massive cholera outbreak like what's happening in the Somali region in eastern Ethiopia right now, or a number of natural disasters, flooding, earthquakes, whatever it is, MSF organization and that come from Games Done Quick is exactly the sort of. So really, thank you so much.
Fantastic to see that, just a little event can do such great.
なんつってたっけ。
Thank you very much.
特に主に国境なき医師団への寄付がだいたい 95% ぐらいが個人で寄付が来てるんですけど、使い道としてはですね、結構病気としてなんつったらいいかな、特にコストがかかるとこ、コストはかからないけど、コストかかる方か、ごめん、言い方が。いろいろ調べたりとか、そういうところでちょっとコストかかるところとか、そういうなんつったらいいんかね、日本語では訳し方が下手だろ俺。
We are working in some of the lowest resource places on the planet, and it is incredibly helpful for us when these communities come together in mapathons. Otherwise,
病気のマッピングをして
personal campaigns and fundraisers. I think if we've seen anything
翻訳さん大丈夫じゃない。
platforms, what I'm reading and looking at today is an incredibly creative group of people that are connected to Games Gone Quick. So yeah, I I'll leave it there.
翻訳はね
All right, so this is a speedrunning event.
Yeah.
I have to ask you.
All
Right,
right,
now, in front of 100 people, you
Oh.
can pick one game to speedrun. What would it be?
Yeah, well, it certainly wouldn't be the one I just watched because I think I wouldn't last for more than 7 seconds. Listen, I do not remember any time. I'm 45. Has been about video games. I had Pong. Yes, actual Pong. I wish I still had it. It would be a huge personal objective. If I could get over 1 million points on Donkey Kong,
お、彼はドンキーコンが見たいって言ってます
this would
ね。
be a hugely important milestone in my life. I am going home. I am buying a console, and I have a new objective. So I think that would certainly be one of them.
新しい目的として
The guy's already into
その
speedrunning his first event ever.
Absolutely.
ハードを買って家でプレイをするのが最初の仕事になるとか言って、まあジョークですね。
Really, just again,
半分ジョークですけど。
thank you very much to the speedrunning community. This is remarkable the work that you're doing. We really, really do appreciate it. Your money, your donations will be used around the world to deal with some of the most complex and most important medical humanitarian issues that the world is facing today. I promise you that. I know last year it was the single largest donation at 1.3 million. I say let's keep it going.
Yeah.
Let's set the target at 2 million.
All
I
right.
think we can do
All
it.
right. I like that goal.
From what I've seen in the last 24 hours at this conference, we've got what it takes.
All
So
right.
thank you very, very much.
Thank you, guys. I mean, listen, the guy is pleading with you. Please, let's hit 2 million. I know it's early, but we can. I just want to say, as part of GDQ, it is a pleasure to work with Doctors Without Borders. We love the cause. We love everything you guys do. So thank you for taking the time to kind of work with us.
Yeah,
And,
it's a great partnership.
Absolutely, thank you. So that will do it for us. Once again, Mike White, Deputy Operations Manager for Doctors Without Borders. And I am Justin, and we are going to throw it over to the host.
僕ね、訳すの下手なんですよ。訳すの下手だし苦手なんですよ。なんでかっていうと、日本語は日本語で聞くし、英語は英語で聞いちゃうんですよ。だから、なんですかね。英語を聞いても英語で理解して英語でそのまま終わっちゃうんです。わかりますかねこれ。だから多分 ほとんどの日本人の方が英語を聞いたら日本語に直そうってやるじゃないですか。僕しないんですよそれ。だからね、日本語に訳すと訳がわからないんですよ。で申し訳ないですね。
Another $50 from Mitchell B1278 saying happy to support this event for a great cause.
申し訳ないですね。
Blades with $7 saying my brother is heading to work and is going to miss the Azure Striker Gunvolt today, but he's going to want to see the fight with Shovel Knight later. Thank you to those who have donated towards this incentive. Yes, I agree that that is going to be an outstanding fight, and you should all.
水取りっていい。ちょっと水取り行きますから、ちょっと、B ライトバックになります。
We have $100. 88. Saying another year and another SGDQ. Thank you so much for all the work you do for a great cause and for making my week brighter. Keep up the good work. Anonymous $5 saying first time donating. Thanks for providing us with great entertainment and allowing us to support a good cause at the same time. Don't hurt my animals. $20 from Hoodless Mads saying, I discovered Games Done Quick this year and I'm slot donate for the first time. Good luck to all the runners. Fubjube102 with $20 saying, great run by an amazingly inspirational runner to kick off this year's SGDQ. Here's to all the runners, staff, and everyone else involved for making these events happen. Let's see that Shovel Knight fight. Again, I definitely agree. All right, we have $50 from Savu saying this donation page is not a natural formation. Someone built it, so it must lead somewhere. Also, did somebody say Halo runs? And with that donation, I believe that we are ready for the run, so let's bring it over to the runner Garish for Halo Combat Evolved.
So time starts when the screen goes fully white. I'll tell you when that happens. Go.
だけで
So hello,
次のゲームヘイロー
I'm
コンバットエ
Garish
ボルヴ
Goblin.
が始まり
I'm
ました
from
けど
Finland and I play Halo Fast.
このゲ
This
ー
is
ムはま
legendary
あ
difficulty and I'm playing on PC. And
この
on the
人フィン
couch
ラン
we
ド
have
から
some
来たらし
lovely
いです
people. You wanna introduce yourselves?
まあよくあるシューティング FPS の
10-10-220, also
ゲー
on
ム
easy.
ですね
And I'm Rexy. I'm an easy
レ
runner
ジェ
as
ンダ
well.
リー難易度なんで一番
So the
高い
last
難
time
易度で
this game was run at the
RT
GDQ
にな
was
ります
3 years ago in 2014. And that run was by the legendary Goatrope, of course. His time, I believe, was 1 hour and 51 seconds, 1 hour and 51 minutes. And I'm planning to cut his time by hopefully at least 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes. Let's see. So this game has had multiple new skips found and just overall better gameplay, more optimized combat. But this level, the first
最
level,
近い
the
ろい
level
ろスキップが見つかって
the main thing I
最後
wanna
に
get
GDQ
here
でやった の
are
が
plasma
2013
grenades,
年
and
3
hopefully I
年
won't
前だ
die again.
2014年か
It's
の
super easy to
GDQ
die
でやっ
in
たらしい
pretty
ん
much
ですけど
every section
その
of the
時は
level.
1時間50
And
何
plasma
分だ
grenades
っ
are
たっ
the
ていう
main
のが
tool
今これ目
because
標時間
plasma
見てもら
grenades
え
in
ば
this
分かり
game
ま
are
す
like
けど1時間
extremely
36分にな
effective.
ってるんです
Basically, they one hit kill almost any enemy type.
なのでまあ最低
excluding
でも
hunters
20分は切りたい
and gold elites.
30
So
分は切れれば
I
いい
want to
な
get as many plasmas as
いうことです
possible. And Halo games always
最近
have had
い
like
ろんなスキッ
super
プが見つかっ
inconsistent
たらしくて
checkpoints.
それで短
Hopefully
縮
I
さ
can
れて
get
る
this. Okay, there we go.
ゲームです
It's like all these checkpoints. Otherwise, you can lose like minutes.
Yeah, so we're doing a couple of things here that might not be obvious. Last direct, so we only wanted to kill about 2 enemies. If we end up killing a bunch more, then we get an extra spawn. Here, as Garish said, you know, we're kind
ま
of
あ
just
2001
placing
年の
plasma
PC な
pistols.
だ
Oh,
け
there's a good
PC ゲー
checkpoint.
なだけあって結構
And this is just kind of predicting AI behavior, getting them to splatter
グラ
nice.
フィックが簡素ですね
This room can go really poorly,
Yeah.
and that's just kind of AI behavior, whatever you get. But it's probably a recurring theme you'll see in this run. In general, if you just do the same thing over and over again,
Naka-san!
like that, sometimes you'll get through. And that's kind of bringing up an idea of an easy strat, like a safe strat, versus a really hard and risky strat. In this game, generally, the hard and risky strat will end up saving you time in the long run. Just dying a couple times will actually be faster than waiting and doing the safe strat.
So these enemies haven't spotted me. They will just stand there and stare at the grenade until they die. It's super useful on this level because
配信
killing
して
those
る中
guys
さんが調整し
individually
ない
would
と声は
take
調
so
整で
long.
きないんで
And here it's
中さん喋って
happening
んのかな
again.
Yeah, we call it a distraction grenade.
Yeah.
If they see the grenade before they see you, then they'll just stare at it and die like idiots.
So this next section is dependent on the right dialogue popping up at the right time. It's possible to actually do a skip here with... Yeah, I got the bad dialogue, but that doesn't matter. It's possible to do a little skip here called the maintenance skip. It saves a few seconds. You have to get a checkpoint at a very precise time.
ありがとうございます。
We didn't get it.
Another area where you'll probably think things happen. Just a ton of enemies packed into a little space. Doing a nice little health pack there. But again, doing it risky is still way faster than waiting and doing the safe.
戻りました。
He
でも
throws
す
a
でに
grenade
始ま
on
ってい
the
たってい
ground there
う。
to get the elites not to follow him.
帰ってきたら
Stay
始まって
away
いる。
from the grenade after they spotted you. So, trying to predict how the AI will react to the things you do.
いや、いろいろやトイレ行ってきたり、なんだかんだ。
Yeah, personally, I think this run gets a lot more interesting after building
I
a
mean,
bottom.
yeah.
The production level
Yes.
is pretty linear, and you're just trying to fight your way through a bunch of enemies. But we're almost done with it.
Yep. Not too bad overall. That many more times here, but so far only 2 deaths. Hopefully, I'm at 1 bar, 1 red bar of health so far. Right now, hopefully I won't die to these guys. Nope. Yeah, I was literally 1 shot away from dying, but that's fine.
So for the level to end here, he has to kill all of these enemies.
Just in this.
Yeah.
There we
You
go.
could see there was a mass with those grenades.
まあ、
Because in this game, if
もう
there are
もう
grenades
説
on
明
the
したか
ground
な。
and there's another grenade
ヘイロー
that
コン
goes
バ
up
ッ
next
ト
to
エ
them,
ボルブってありますけど、まあ、
it's a
事
strain
実上
reaction
最初のタイトルです、これ。
and cause like massive explosions.
Right.
I
初代
have lost
初代
runs
ヘイ
to
ロー
those
ですね。
explosions. It's just a dumb mechanic, to be honest. But
That'll probably come up
here,
later.
we should explain this.
Yeah, so we're going to do a little grenade jump here to skip a trigger. The game actually really wants you to go on the left side of the screen there. There's a trigger on that enemy spawns up here ahead. So by doing this little grenade jump, not only is it more direct of a route, we actually skip a bunch of spawns, which most importantly includes 2 banshees.
すごい
the,
ね、
enemy
プレイヤー
fighter
の
jets that are
あの
flying up
画面
overhead.
がさ、
And I always like to say that
はい
Banshee
ものすごい
drivers
便球を
have,
さ、
no
広
bigger
告してる
goal
よ
in。life than to just fly down and crash you.
まあ実
So
際
yeah, this
そうなんで
area
しょ
is
うね。
supposed to be filled with enemies.
なので
but-
皆さん勉強の
電球のね、
ディスプレイおすすめです。
ディスプレイ、PC 版おすすめ
And
だ
the
そう
next
です
area。is interesting. So there's a thing called drop
なん
skip.
とラグが少ない。
There are 5 dropships.
ゲーム向け。
You can skip one of them by killing the second one and the third one. The dropships are fast enough, and it also requires for you to kill some marines.
結構日本でも勉強流行って
the
ますよ
marines
ね
have。to die.
勉強多いよね。
dialogues to
格ゲーとかも勉強ばっかり。
I kind of want to wait
そう
here
そう
just
そ
a
の
little
ラ
bit
グが少ないものだったら勉強一
for
択っ
these
ていう
enemies
の
to
が
engage
多
the
い
marines
聞きますけ
because
ど。
if I kill all of the marines
まあただ
myself,
あれ
they
よ
can
ね
turn
パソ
on
コ
me
ン
and
の
start
ディスプ
killing
レ
me,
イ業
and
界
that's
は
not
勉
good.
強なんだよね。
So
ただ
hopefully these guys
コ
kill
ンシューマーのゲームになると
at least one
東芝が一番強いっていうまだ未だ
Yeah, the Marines
そ
are
うなん
actually
ですか？
super
そう
weak in this game, so the elites can just
ソ
pick
ニ
them
ー
up.
よりもね、
That was really good.
遅延がないんですよ
And now
東芝
I
の方
want
が
these guys to die from this nade.
でも勉強
Nice.
って HDMI があったら
So
コンシューマーゲームも
you can
HDMI つなげられるんじゃないか
Marines
な。
まあ
in
ね
this game.
今はね
思っちゃう。
And it actually
なるほど
doesn't
ね。
count
あの
as
ほら
betrayal.
でかい
昔のゲームだと。
Grenade
で
kills
かい画面
are
でねやりたいとかね
grenade
そう
betrayals
なっ
are
てくると
なるほど
やっぱり
yeah,
なるほど
accident thing goes with splattering. So I'm gonna be doing
ま
that
あ
on
ブラウン管が
levels.
一番いいですけどね。
I'm gonna kill lots of my friends.
So something that you might not notice coming into this area, a big reason why we
ヘイ
have
ロ
to
ーシ
kill
リ
those
ーズヘイロー
Marines
シリーズで何が一番いいんですかね
one of these
いろいろ
ships,
出てます
we
よね
would be having
これか
a
ら
good,
これ
10 to
2
15 seconds
3
while the
リー
Marines
チ
are
4
talk about the enemies that are
とか
coming
ねいろい
down.
ろ出てますけど
And since everything here is on a timer after you kill one ship and the next ship comes down, we wouldn't have enough time to perform the trick that we're trying to do. So remember where this second ship is trying to come down. If we do
僕
the
自身は
ship
ヘイロー
bubble,
わ
if
か
we
んない
get
で
drop
す。
skip, there's supposed to be a fourth ship that's supposed
まあ
to come
F だからね
that fourth ship completely. But it
FPS を
requires, as
こ
we
う
said,
オーバーウォッ
skipping
チ
the
しかやったことないですよ。
also
Overwatch.
completing all of the ships pretty quickly.
So this next ship is there's a very interesting setup for this, and it's not too consistent. So
全
hopefully
然
it
違いま
works.
すね、オーバーウォッチは。
By the way, you can see me shoot the ships with the pistol because you can actually get some grunt
まあこういうね FPS の走りなんだっけ、ドゥームが最初だっけな。
Not very good design by the Covenant.
違ったっけな。
クエイク。
クエイクか。
スピードデモアーカイブスってスピードデモ
That should still work.
スピードデモをアーカイブする場所なんですけど、そのスピードデモって元々何だったかっていうと、クエイクのそのインプットの記録のテキストファイルをアップロードする場所だったんです。で、それがスピードデモアーカイブスって名前になって、このゲームスダンクイックの大元のコミュニティである SDA の元になってたんですね。そういう意味でも FPS の RTA っていうのは、このスピードランのコミュニティでも結構大切なジャンルになってます。
Oops. Okay.
粘るなん。
See what I can do here.
なんかね、どうもヘイローよりもね、僕はね、コールオブデューティーしたい人だからね。コールオブデューティーがバットフィールドしたいからね。SF どうも好きじゃないね。
なるほど。
だから、ほら、コールオブデューティーの最近のがみんな未来志向になったから、俺やるのやめちゃった。
じゃあやっぱあれですか、カウンターストライクとか。
ああ、まだあっちの方がいいね。ああいう方のが。
もうあれはガチの現実世界。テロリスト対アンチテロリスト。
あとはね、バトルフィールド昔の方。バッドカンパニー2とかあっちの古い方をやるのが楽しい。
もうそれもガチの現実世界ですね。
やっぱね、なんだろう、FPS の対戦ゲーとして一番楽しいのはバトルフィールドだかなと思う。コールオブデューティーちっちゃすぎる、エリアが。
But the level is so expansive that it's actually a lot faster to drive the Warthog and wait for it.
This cave is not a natural formation.
Everyone's favorite quote. So, the Warthog, aka the Halo car, it handles kind of like you're driving on ice and the tires are coated in Crisco. But we can use that to our advantage. We can actually fling the car. And there's a fun little thing in the physics engine. Bungie decided that they didn't want you to be able to kill yourself or splatter yourself on a vehicle that you had just exited. So right after you get out of a vehicle, you have a brief period of invulnerability from that vehicle. We use that by getting out and turning in such a way that the vehicle actually hits us and will push us either through things or up things like you're going to see. Nice. Yeah, so we just use the vehicle to push ourselves up here and get to the button really fast.
感性の法則をう
And since there are
まく
enemies
使う
shooting
スタイルだ
us,
ね。
the game actually allows us to skip a cutscene that otherwise would have
すごいね、この感性の使い
standing,
方。
allowing us to pass the ravine.
車の移動力の感性をしてスキップする。
The goal of this mission
移動
was
す
to
るって
actually
ずるい
save the Marines because we just crash landed and our ship was taken over by the Covenant. But we're not really going to save the Marines. It's actually a lot slower to save the Marines.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
We'll talk about saving the Marines. We could probably read a couple donations until we get out of this structure and see some grass.
Sounds good. Of $200. Garish, it's Joe Mama Bob. I hope this donation doesn't distract you as much as my Twitch sub did. Also, big shout out to my brother Jackson, who's watching the stream at work. Love you. We have $20 from. What's up? Stoked for the run. Great to see you running at GDQ. Here's to good RNG on library. Save the frames and kill the Marines.
The Marines.
Doing a great job.
We were talking about saving the Marines. This entire area consists of 3 non-linear sections, so you can complete them any order you want. There, rescue the Marines, and get them evac'd, and that involves killing all the Covenant in the area and all the Covenant reinforcements that might show up. Going into here is another Warthog fling, like what we talked about, using the Warthog to hit here really fast. That was nice. So, going along with saving the Marines, the game developers decided that if you fail the objective, you shouldn't be super punished. So we're just going to come in here and accelerate the failure of the objective.
There we go.
Yeah, okay, so the Marines have been saved. So going along with about how there are certain deaths that the game will consider accidental. So since we grenaded all of the Marines, we don't have any penalties. There is such a thing as a betrayal counter. So if
ヘイロー1はやってないから全くこれも解説できない。
It activates what's called a betrayal counter, or we like to call it. And if such a thing happens within some timer of that first betrayal, all of the Marine map will suddenly get mad at you and anger you.
Yeah, on easy difficulty, it actually doesn't matter if the Marines get mad at you, since, well, they aren't really too powerful against you. And on easy
そんなら航
difficulty,
空
the
機は海兵
timer
隊を救出に来るんだけど、
actually runs out
海兵
before
隊
the
を全
level
員
ends.
殺す救出に来ないのでしょ。
Usually, I think.
ああ、
But
なる
on
ほど。
Legendary, the timer is like
ありが
way
とうございます。
longer.
Yeah, I've completed. Still mad at me.
Oh yeah, yeah. On Legendary though, you would have to do completely different strats if that happened, and I don't prefer those strats.
So we only killed one Marine, so the enemies, or the friendlies, I said enemies, they're only kind of mad at us. You'd probably notice that there were some yellow dots on the minimap in the bottom left corner, and those are the other allies that we're supposed to save. We're just going to go let them... Covenant will probably take care of them. So that's 2 out of 3 areas where we probably failed the objective. But removing these 2 guys from up on top of the rock from the air count as still being in the area, so the game will allow us to progress.
Also worth noting, snipers are OP. Like the Marine snipers are OP in this game.
Yeah, I think the game developers just never programmed them to miss.
おお、早い。
Now we finally actually got to do something productive rather than just press. And the next level is actually gonna be lots and lots of combat. That's gonna be exciting. Hopefully.
やっぱり PC だとエイム力すごいね。
Come down for reinforcements.
And now it's just you can just kind of throw a few nades. And there we go, everybody's dead.
Great. The last of them? Perfect. So now the level's just on a timer. We're waiting for our dropships to come down, pick us up, evac the survivors.
相当鍛えられてる。
Oh, and he sticks the landing. We have $5 from Anonymous. Fallen Ultima here. You said that if I donate $5, you would get world record at SGDQ. Time to see that world record.
Well, we'll see about that, I guess.
これはあれかな。あ、十字架
And
があ
now
ったから。
TNR, or Truth and Reconciliation. This is, I would say, this is the hardest level in the game. Like, this has the highest skill gap. So much combat with the sniper rifle. So many difficult sections.
Yeah, this level's really punishing. One slight mess up and will get rid of you.
Yeah.
ここはハード。
Compared to Gold,
ね、とても難しいところでスキルを結構求められますよっていうことを
definitely,
まあ
I've adapted to
ちま
some
ちま言ってますよ。
YOLO strats here. For example, the first area, just gonna run straight through this area. There is a way higher chance of dying than taking it a little safe, but
エイムすんの早えな。本当早えな。
yeah, let's hope I don't die here.
ただあれよね。他の FPS のこれがエイムしないっていうね。スーパーライフルでも関係なく。
last level and on POA, we're just kind of trying. Just simply doesn't work here, unfortunately.
真ん中
But
を
we've got
ね、
some pretty well placed
真ん中に
grenades,
敵をちゃんと合わせて
where we
一
can
発
take
で撃つっ
advantage
ていう
of。where we know the enemies are going to spawn.
おお、激しいね。
And it's really important to kill elites.
激しいね、攻撃
The
が。
lower Covenant see you kill an elite, they'll go into a frenzy and get all scared and run away from you, so they can't do any damage to you. We're kind of working our way around, do some quick killing of that elite and clear a path. Power up on the ground that's called an active camouflage. And for those of you who are just from people seeing you for some short period of time, it's about 40 seconds, 45 seconds.
One technique we forgot to mention is backpack reloading. Using that a lot. I've already been using it a lot, like the entire time. If you
Yeah, absolutely. So it's probably a glitch, probably classified as a glitch, but you double tap your reload button and then do anything. The reload will continue happening while the weapon's in your backpack. That's why we call it backpack. You can cancel the animation by switching weapons or by getting. It's extremely useful, especially in the legendary category, because we just want to keep outputting damage over and over. We don't want to have to wait.
Fight is probably the hardest part of the level, so hopefully this goes well.
Yeah. So we kill this, and then that activates the Covenant to start dropping guys down here from the Grav-lift from the ship above. So we call this the Grav-lift fight. There are actually 8 waves of enemies, but with a well-placed grenade,
見事な
kind of
出落ちっ
spawn
てや
kill
つ
these
だね
enemies as they. Next wave, for reference, comes down when there is only one enemy remaining from
もう
the
完全に
wave
落ちてくるの分かりきってるからボムなグレネード投げて待ってるっていうこ
Just one away, but
のスムーズだねこれ
really
Impressive.
いやほんと素晴らしいわこの綺麗な処理は素晴らしい
I think it's the first time we see hunters in the game, actually. That kills them pretty quick, apparently. So yeah, like Cortana's alluding to, now we're just going to use their lift to get up into the ship. For reference, we're trying to get up there because that's where Captain Keyes is being held. Real quick, just to skip some.
so yeah,
You know, because.
wave fight. This fight has a little more random way. So I'm actually just gonna let you guys explain this in.
So there are 10 waves coming out of here. Right, because held the waves up, so we want to get the ball rolling a little faster. At some point, after like wave 4 or 5, the Marine as well, and I'll explain that in a bit when that happens.
I mean, you can just admit it. It's because you're a monster.
So the first Marine that we killed, actually, none of the Marines saw that betrayal, so it didn't activate what we call the betrayal timer. That second Marine, everybody saw it, and I think they actually called us something for it. But essentially, we're trying to use that betrayal later in the level.
You can also get some nice frag grenade drops from that, which is super helpful in this fight.
Nice collision.
Good stuff. It's actually really easy to get overwhelmed in this area because the waves will just keep spawning and keep spawning. If you don't clear them out fast enough, the entire with Covenant, you'll never survive. Also, I think you may have noticed, we haven't gotten a checkpoint this entire time. So that's the first checkpoint for the whole fight.
Yeah.
After the fight's done, we do have 2 hunters that come out of here, and it's intended that we fight them, but we're not going to. Apparently there's a little trigger back here that if we just walk past the hunters, this door will open. And that's where we're trying to go. So no need to fight them.
He actually got an early door open there by getting the hunter to charge him, because the Covenant can open red doors that Chief can't.
Which is important right here.
Yeah, that'll actually come up here. So this is yet another big fight that the game wants us to do. We're not going to do the wave fight.
Oh, we're God door.
Oh, dude,
Nice. So as you
なん
can
かさっ
see,
きのモン
the
スター
Covenant actually have the
見てる
ability
と
to open these doors that are locked to
なんだっ
us.
け
Since this is the
スターシ
direction
ップ
we're
トゥルーパーズっ
trying to go,
ぽ
we
い
can just
なんか
use them.
ノリがある
So there is one of the biggest skips in the game.
ちょっと違うかもしれない
and
け
for
どね
that, I need to gather some plasma grenades.
Yep. Yeah, the big room that's coming up is the hangar, and it's where the 4th and final wave fight is planned for this level. You'll notice we did the first 2, we skipped the 3rd one. We're going to skip the 4th one in a pretty interesting way, actually. What you need to know, there's a power-up on the ground that's called an overshield, and it charges up your shield in such a way that's purely scripted, so you literally can't take any damage while it's charging up. We're going to use that, stack some grenades on the ground, and get them to blow up at pretty much the same time. Getting us all the way up here, do a couple more grenade jumps to get to the top. What the game would have you do is actually fight on the bottom floor, wait for a... Yeah, that's nice. Very well done.
これはすごいな
The game actually wants you to fight on the bottom floor, work your way up through the hallways, and it would just take probably 15 minutes. We just did it in about 10 seconds. Where you have to clear all the enemies. This is not a wave fight. We just have to work our way through here, kill the enemies as fast as possible, while taking hopefully very little damage.
うまいね、打つの。
You want to be super careful with jackals in this game. They have probably the highest. Oh no. I ran out of ammo. That's super unfortunate. But yeah, jackals are super dangerous in this game. They probably have the highest damage per second out of any enemy, other than like rocket, flood, or whatever.
So yeah, now we're just working our way through these hallways to try to get to Captain Keyes where he's being held. We're clearing out all the enemies in this area just because we're actually going to have to backtrack through this hallway. And the game will spawn more enemies when we come back through the second time, so we don't want these guys to be around.
Oh.
You could actually see a glitch happen there, where if you stick an enemy and the grenade blows up, the grenade actually doesn't have a radius, so it only kills the enemy you start.
ああ、なるほど。
Which is a pretty annoying glitch, honestly.
ああ。
Alright, so this is where Captain Keyes is being
なるほ
held
ど
in the
ね。
prison.
シールド回復中に
Invis elites,
無敵判定になるからそれを使って逃げるのか。いや、ジャンプしちゃうのか。はあ。よく見っけんな、そういうのやっぱり。
Rescue Captain Keyes, and now there's an escort mission coming up.
And we all love escort missions.
We should head back to the shuttle bay and call for evac.
There was a health pack in there that's probably good to get, and some grenades. So yeah, like we said, coming back through here, the game has spawned additional enemies. As we backtrack, we have to fight them. This being an escort mission, you actually really have to keep Captain Keyes alive, otherwise you revert back to the prison where you saved him. Unfortunately, the Marines have this annoying property where they like to throw grenades and then stand on said grenades. So here, we're going to do something interesting. Remember that betrayal timer that we activated in the belly when we first got into the ship? We're going to use that to our advantage now. So now the Marines are mad at us. The reason we did that is because there's actually 40 seconds of dialogue coming up when we get back to...
ヘイロー、個人奮闘、孤軍奮闘するようなゲームに見えるよね、これだけ見てると。さっきのね、車で移動するとか見てると、ああ、チームでやってるんだなと思うけど。こういうとこ見てると。
For those of you who remember how this level is supposed to end, you're actually supposed to go to the hangar, pick up one of the Covenant dropships, and exit the hangar. Because we did the big grenade jump, we skipped a bunch of triggers that otherwise would have caused enemies to spawn in the hangar at the end of that level. But because the game never spawned those enemies, it detected at the end that the enemies weren't alive, and since the enemies were never alive in the first place, it assumes that you killed them and just ends the level.
So now, the silent cartographer, this is the most legendary Halo level ever for speedrunning, honestly. I think so many tricks I'm gonna do like within a few minutes.
Ton of tricks. You'll actually notice right off the bat the game points you in the direction of a big fight that was on the beach, and we're just walking the other way because it's faster.
Garish, do you like long?
Yes, I do.
Garish, how do you feel about stories?
Definitely go for it.
So every time I see this long walk on the beach, I think of a time when I was in a Halo speedrunning channel, watching a new guy run the game for the first time. I was trying to give him some tricks, you know, tell him what to do and everything, and it was all fun. Yeah, he didn't have a webcam or a mic. He was like had to alt tab. I felt kind of bad, but I was telling him, dude, you're learning the game on Legendary. Maybe you should try, you know, the tricks. You can just focus on the tricks. You don't have to like focus on the combat. He's like, no, I want to do Legendary. That's what I want to run. Fine, dude, whatever. Do what you want. That guy's name was Garish. The guy running in front of us. needless to say, I don't tell people to learn on easy anymore.
Yep. So now, I'm gonna be using the fling mechanic again to get past the security door that you're not supposed to actually get through, like at this point of the level. So, oh no.
Uh-oh, we're good.
Hopefully I won't take too much damage. Okay.
So yeah, the game would have you come down here, they're going to lock the door, and then try to get you to go somewhere else to unlock it. We're just going to use the Warthog to fling through. This guy always has 2 plasmas, which is going to be really important for a trick coming up. Level with 4 frag grenades, and getting the 2 plasmas there adds up to 6. We're going to use the overshield on the ground again, just like we did in the last level, to give us a little bit of invulnerability.
ヘイローって高所から落ちても死なないのかな。
All the way back up to the top, nearly where we
こうやって
started.
見てると。何してんだこれ。あ、またジャンプしてる。あ、失敗したのかな。結構難しいんかなこれ。はい、ライメズ。はあ、なるほど。
That's good. I think that's good.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, we're talking about safe strats versus risky strats. It's actually sometimes quicker to try that trick there we call stick stack a few times rather than just taking a
completely different
safer route. Yeah.
Yeah, that is definitely the hardest trick in the game. I'm kind of sad I didn't get it super hype, but I want to get it within the first few attempts, but that's still fine for a marathon run.
Still looks cool. Alright, so here we're going to get a trigger that actually ends up killing these enemies for some reason. And as soon as we get that trigger, the end level is tied to us getting in a pelican. That pelican is just on a timer coming down. One side note, not really relevant to this run, but if you remember when we went down and hit the map button and then came back up, there was a big empty shaft to the bottom of the level. There's actually a side category that some people run called bottom of SC or BOSC. And it's just basically seeing how fast you can get to the bottom of there. You can actually survive and get down there somehow, but it's pretty hard.
And now, AOTCR. This level has
そんな乗り方があるの。
probably the biggest route change. I guess that's what you can call it. So there's a really cool trick I'm gonna do. Before we used to do the bridge fall trick, that was around for years and years, and that's still the trick for easy runs, but for legendary we have something a little more unique.
Yeah, this is actually a legendary and heroic only strat. You can't do this on easy, so I won't spoil it. It's pretty cool.
But first, I have to get through this area, hopefully get a few plasma grenades. It's pretty easy to die here sometimes. Oh, no. Yeah. That is not good.
日本の時間書いとくかな。
Nice headshot.
If that's not good, I might have a donation to help you. We have $5 from Arazaz saying, "Hello, Garish. I like you."
Oh, hello. That literally every single time I stream, he comes in my chat and says the exact same thing. And I like you too.
All right, so we're coming up on the area where we're going to do the trick here. There's actually a Banshee flying around, just kind of patrolling. And what we really don't want to do is walk across this bridge. There are a bunch of triggers that would cause enemies to spawn, and we hate that. So if we stand in a very precise spot, really confused, run to the wall here, and kind of flip upside down, we're just going to check the driver from the vehicle, and hey, free Banshee.
It's crazy that that's consistent.
Yeah, the
こん
first
な
version of that
こ
trick
んなやり
that was
方があ
found
るなん
about a
て
year ago, it was super inconsistent. But thankfully, there was a way better setup found for that. That is
これが
super
普通なのかな
consistent trick if you know how to do it. Super hard. It looks way easier than it actually is.
So like I said, there are a bunch of triggers now that are being skipped. Well, we kind of call this a reverse domino effect. If you skip the first trigger, all the triggers in the rest of this level are tied to that trigger. So there just won't be enemy spawns for the rest of the level. That sounds great. Unfortunately, that also means there won't be checkpoints, except for one right here that is level, no checkpoints whatsoever. So we're just flying through an empty map, and if we die at any point, we're going back to there.
Yep. Runs have been lost to people splattering themselves with the Banshee because it's super easy in this game to like if there's a vehicle moving at you at like 1 mile an hour, you are dead basically. It's just weird how that works, but that's how it is.
Time for a couple
Yeah,
donations?
we can read a
or-
couple donations.
Okay. You mentioned earlier we have $117 from Goat Rope saying, "Hey Garish, good luck. I believe in you. Shoutouts to HaloRuns.com."
Go Trope, the legend.
We have $50 from Bad Cat saying, "Great games done for an amazing purpose. Go guys, go. Save the animals."
Speaking of 117, the world record currently for this game is actually 1 hour and 17 minutes.
Yeah, actually, I want to say it's 1 hour 17:34 by Garish, and just saying that doesn't quite do it enough justice. That's actually almost 5 minutes faster than the next run, and the next run actually isn't even that bad. It just kind of gives you an idea of how crazy fast we can do this game right now. I remember when the world record got down to like 1:30, and I thought that was ridiculous.
I literally almost died there. That was super scary. So now usually I would do a grenade jump there, but since I'm at 1 red, that's really not a possibility since you would die from it.
But yeah, this is more ways in going to get another Banshee, so I think we can read a few more donations.
We have $100 from the Eliminate88 saying, "Love speedruns in Halo. Good luck." $50 from Anonymous saying, "Grew up with Halo, and it is the first franchise to get me to speedrun. Halo for life." $77 from Piro M saying, "Thanks, Garish, for helping on the speed. Hype for your run. Kill aliens." $5 from Lord saying, "Halo as a kid. This run brings back so many memories. Here's hoping your sniper rifle accuracy is way better than mine. Put the money to Reader's Choice because he's a classy guy." Thank you, Lord Sturm. Penguin saying, "I love finding new games during GDQs. Thanks for the impressive runs for charity."
So now we just have to open a few doors here and the level will be done.
Yeah, getting back to the story, so we got the map room on the last level. That told us where the control room of the entire Halo ring was. So that's what we're going to get right now, is to the control room. When we get there, Cortana is going to tell us that Captain Keyes needs to be rescued yet again, and that's going to send us on the next mission.
Actually, one thing I wanted to mention, yesterday unfortunately I couldn't see it myself. Called Sabusuka actually got the easy full game world record for this game, so shoutouts to him. He's a cool guy.
We're halfway done with the game level-wise, not halfway done time-wise. The 2 longest levels of the game are in the second half. And this level is pretty interesting. It's actually, spoiler alert, the first level where you find the Flood. So if you haven't played Halo before, sorry. Do a little quick grenade jump here just to skip some walking sections.
Can someone tell me what the timer is at currently?
37:24.
That's not too bad, actually.
Trust me, I think anybody that's played Halo remembers the first time they see the Flood.
It's spooky.
There is a cool little jump you can do. It's like a second, and it's super hard. and I didn't get it. You have to jump super late for it.
It saves 1 frame. It actually saves a lot more than that. This is another section where you're going to see again, kind of like going risky and fast or going safe and slow. We're going to go risky and fast.
I don't want these jackals to push out of this door because it can get me killed really easily. This area is so dependent on what those jackals do. Hopefully that won't happen again.
Oof. He was ready.
Oh, these guys just one stop right now. There we go.
Nice. You can do a little bit of AI manipulation and keep these guys. Saves another 2 seconds or so.
Yep.
But we're making our way to the roofs where we're going to see the flood for the first time. If you remember, there was a private, what's his name?
Jenkins?
Jenkins, yeah. And you get to watch them find the flood.
And now we are introduced to these spooky popcorn guys.
Yeah, infection guys that run around and they try to infect you. Luckily, we have shields, so they'll just pop on our shields until our shields go away, and then they'll start eating us. But there are 3 doors that will open up with infection forms. It's always the same 3 doors. So we'll do a combination of grenading, shooting, hitting, letting them pop on our shields.
Yeah, the AR is a pretty useless weapon overall, but against the infection forms, it's super effective since they only take 1 bullet to die. And the AR has a super high, what's it called?
Rate of fire.
Yep.
We actually have some advice for this section. It's $5 from Anonymous saying, Garish, do the thing, shoot the gun. Oh no, not like this.
Once the game decides that we've killed enough of the infection forms, it's going to open the same door that we entered through.
There we go.
And we get that music.
I was super confused about that room.
They were hiding.
Yeah.
There's another distraction grenade. It's a good example of it. Now we're just trying to escape, right?
Yep. And there is a nade jump I'm gonna do. It's not hard. Actually, there we go. Okay. It's a nice little boost against the pillar. Hopefully I can get it. There we go.
Nice.
And now, after this next elevator, the hardest trick in the game.
The hardest trick in the game. There's an area coming up after this elevator where the game kind of wants you to fall through a broken light bridge and have to find your way back up. We're going to skip that whole thing. Tricky platforming on kind of a slippery surface. We call the trick camo jump because there's an active camouflage here on the ground that we grab right before it. The trick is also called camo jumo, to double those foes' inability to spell.
We actually have $5 from Bad Live Man saying, hey Garish, good luck. Can't wait for the camo Juno.
Yo, thanks, man.
So that's actually it's about 45 seconds, and that's just enough time to run our way through all these areas and get the flood to completely ignore us.
And now there's this one last nade jump, really tight. Hopefully I can get this. Nice.
Oh,
nice.
Yeah. So doing that nade jump actually skips a trigger that you otherwise would have hit going across the light bridge, which would spawn some enemies around here that we just don't want to deal with.
And now, the ending of the level. For whatever reason, the trigger to end the level is tied to 2 allied sentinels. Sentinels are the small flying robots that For the level to end, both of those sentinels have to die. I have no idea why. It really makes no sense. The level.
Again, in standard Halo fashion, accelerate the death of our allies.
Yep.
I think Bungie. Oh, go ahead.
Yep, there are like lots of slow. If I get really slow sentinels, there's a high chance I'm just gonna get flooded.
$25 from Emily Y-Chan saying amazing event and great work so far. Shout out to my cousin Terry at the center of the couch. You guys are doing great work.
Thanks. That's 343 Guilty Spark, the Mon. And he's our friend for now. Sentinels. And now the level's just on a timer.
And now, next up.
Next up is the library.
Best level.
We're just doing a little grenade jump here to skip a trigger that would otherwise, again, spawn a bunch of enemies. We are going to kind of backtrack a little bit to that area, not completely, to attract the attention of one particular flood who is standing kind of behind this wall. Property that we want to use. He's what we call a revive flood in this game. There's a 30% or 40% chance for a given flood to flood that are die when they're a little bit below 30% health, and then they'll stand back up and come back to life. That's why they revive. The is that when they play dead, when they go down the first time, the collision box completely disappears. And you can stand on top of them, do whatever, the game won't care. When they revive, when they come back, it doesn't just come back up with the flood. It actually suddenly reappears. And we can use that to our advantage to get through certain areas. This is one of these doors. Other for the through ourselves through.
And now, in an interesting way,
a couple very well placed grenades, and this shotgun comes right to us.
So, yep. Bombarded on the level, and there are 5 in total, but on Legendary it's, I guess we only go for 4 of them. Oh no.
Ooh,
also,
that's tough.
Dying on this level is super random and just, you can just die so randomly sometimes. It's just unfortunate. This is definitely the most RNG heavy level in the game, probably in the entire franchise.
Yeah. But we'll go down here, get an overshield just for survivability in this hallway. And like we talked about before, when the overshield grenade jumps as much as you want, the game doesn't care. Also, kind of like we talked about earlier, human weapons do a lot of damage to health and not to shields. Luckily for us, the Flood being completely biological, they don't have shields.
$5 from Shiesty saying, confirm if tomatoes are a vegetable or a fruit.
They are vegetables.
This is the first of 3 elevators. There are 4 floors on the library, and while the elevator is going up, we can read a couple more.
Ditto 8353 saying, note to self, do not let Garish borrow my car.
Coming up is another door where you could bump through it. 343, you can see him float. Is going to make us wait while he goes and opens it. This door is just to try to bump through on Legendary, so we're going to get over here and hide. So we can read a couple more donations.
Sounds $150 from Alexander S. saying, greetings from Germany and good luck to all the runners. Money goes to top reader's choice. Thank you. We have $50 birthday, so I guess I should thank you for the amazing present. Woke up a bit late, but I'm off work till Thursday night, so I'll be here for a while.
Happy birthday.
$50 snack saying, in honor of all of my animal-loving friends, especially Sub-Zero, this goes to saving the animals. $5 from Richard Berg saying, hey Garish, some greetings from Germany. $20 from Speedy Fox. I had to donate during the Halo 1 run. I have fond memories of playing the multiplayer with friends and watching my brother struggle through the... Greetings from Australia.
So us waiting for that door kind of gives you a sense of how painful it would be to just wait for all of these doors on this level. That's actually how this used to be. Before we found flood bumps, which was only about 3 years ago, we used to wait for every single one of these. I actually have a goat rope stream where one of these doors he would always just go and get iced tea. Actually really important that we got through that area with good health. This door is going to open up partially, and then there would be a bunch of flood that come and ambush us. So we're just going to make our way through it.
Please wait.
I'd rather not, thank you.
$100 from Oliver Owen saying, here's to another successful fundraiser and a great Halo run.
And now we're approaching the first rocket flood of the game. It's super easy to die here sometimes, and the last checkpoint is after I got through the door. So it's one of the longest reverse. Won't die here.
Nice. That'll actually happen again. There will be a hallway where there's a rocket flood staring at you, but the hallway is a little tighter. So we'll come back to that. Yet another elevator coming up, so while the elevator's going up, we can read some more donations.
$150 from Mackie saying, I missed the last GDQ, figure I can make it up this time around. Love what you guys do and how the community comes together for this. You're all amazing. Go ahead and give yourselves a round of applause for being amazing. $5 from Skinny X Puppy and saying, and so starts a long week of not getting anything done at work. I actually scheduled surgery this week just so that I could stay home and watch all the runs. Good luck to all the runners and save the animals. Speedy recovery to you, Skinny Puppy.
That's dedication. I don't know if I would go out and get surgery just so I could watch GDQ, but...
You're clearly not as dedicated as he is.
Right. Coming up is another hallway where a chain reaction is very possible. So we're going to kind of try to attract these flood towards us. So if they have any grenades, they won't just drop them right in front of a bunch of carriers that are around to turn the corner. Yeah, there was a chain reaction right there. You saw it.
And now, coming up, the first actually RNG-based flood bump. The first one actually wasn't RNG-based. I don't know if we explained that. But yeah, the first one is always consistent. But this one is the first actually RNG-based one.
Yeah, so like we said, a generic flood has about a 40% chance to be a reviver. This guy seems to be one.
Nice.
Nice.
That was actually really lucky because I don't think he got a checkpoint.
I did not get a checkpoint, so that's really nice.
So what you're saying is you did not get a checkpoint.
Bungie took it away.
And the next bump is the most important one to get, because if you don't get the next one, you have to wait for the door to open, and it takes like 90 seconds.
Yeah, it's actually twice as long as all the other doors.
Yeah. So I really hope I'm gonna get this next one, otherwise we're gonna have to read a bunch of donations, I think.
The good news is that status of a given flood is actually determined at that flood spawn, or at birth, I guess. Got a bunch of flood that are following us. They've actually already spawned, so if they're revivers or not, that's been determined. And we're about to get a checkpoint in this room so we can test and see which flood are going to be revivers.
Pray to RNG. Oh, I'm checkpoint glitched. Oh no, this might be bad.
Well, okay, never mind.
So I really hope this guy's a reviver now, because... Wait,
Dude.
is he?
Ooh. Fake reviver.
Oh.
Okay, so we're just going to go and hide for 90 seconds, and we can read some more donations and get some iced tea.
Shout out to the iced tea. We have $20 from Silent Wolf JH48. Hello, Mr. Garish Goblin TM World Recce Man. Good luck wishes from fellow plebe console runner. Hope for no Rigorino.
Yo, thanks, man.
$20 from Duh Misanthrope, saying first time donator after listening to Mike talk about MSF. Couldn't read such important work. Enjoying Garish's Halo run. My friend is currently attempting all the Halo games on Legendary and has a ways to go, so give a shout out to Josh. Good luck and to a great week of speedrunning. $50 from Mad, saying thanks for all you are doing, SGDQ, and for Doctors Without Borders. $50 from Davio Smash, saying I love what you guys are doing. Keep it up. $50 from Jay Kowalski, also saying thank you and continue with the wonderful work that you are all doing.
One thing I actually wanted to mention, yeah, like I said, I'm actually checkpoint glitched. Like my last checkpoint is minutes and minutes ago, so if I die now, it's gonna be a long revert. I don't know why the checkpoint glitch happens in this game. It's just super unfortunate on a marathon run.
There's just something so satisfying about the Halo shotgun.
Final elevator of the level. We can read a couple more.
$20 from Jino saying, I gotta donate during the Halo run. One question for Garish. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Too tough to answer.
$5 from Catalyst saying, excited for this GDQ. Star Wars, let's go.
We have a cute little grenade jump. It saves some time, otherwise you'd have to go kind of under the level here through this tunnel. And in this room that we're about to get into is where the last flood bump of the game could take place. Or sorry, the last flood bump of the level, not of the game, sorry. Spoilers.
Actually, I don't think, have I gotten a checkpoint? Yeah, I don't.
No.
Yeah.
You have not gotten a checkpoint.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to even try this because...
The flood bumps can be dangerous. I mean, one, you're standing there and you have the potential to be shot. But two, you also have the potential to clip out of the world and fall to your death out of bounds. So we can read a couple more donations.
$100 from Anonymous. I've always loved watching GDQ speedruns, but I'm donating for the first time. Good luck to all the runners. God bless. $10 from Status418. Don't forget the elbow grease and the headlight fluid. $150 from Ash Weiler. Every year, this is one of the weeks that makes my summer great. The way the community gets together in a way to actually help make meaningful change is heartwarming. Good luck to all the runners, and greetings from Canada. You know, that sounded like a Canadian comment.
Wants us to do coming up. We're going to try to kill some flood here that are around the door. This door, just like one earlier, is going to open up part of the way. The game wants us to stay and wait. Doing a grenade jump here is actually really critical because we get through while the level, or this part of the level is empty before the game spawns a ton of enemies. Now we're going to be at the end of the level. So really good dying there when we didn't have a checkpoint.
Yep.
This cutscene is actually completely unskippable. It's 63 seconds, and we just have to watch the monitor descend us. One thing of note, this huge elevator contains the index, and it's actually coming down to the area where we started the level, if it looks familiar. I don't know why the monitor couldn't just bring that down at the beginning.
Saved us a lot of trouble.
But here's the index. If you recall, we went to the control room at the end of AOTCR, the snowy level, and we did a bunch of things. We're actually going to take the index back to the control room where we came from. And that's going to be the start of the next level, 2 Betrayals. Long story short, the monitor wants us to blow up the ring. We say no. He gets mad. He's now not our friend.
Master Chief is actually taking damage in this cutscene, if you notice the screen flashing red.
Yep. And now, 2 Betrayals. After TNR, the 3rd level, I would say this is the hardest. Like, I'm gonna promise deaths are very likely to happen. So this level kind of works the same way as the first level as well, where you just run through areas.
We can't let them on. We have to stop him. We have to destroy
And
Halo.
toss a few plasma grenades there and there.
Analysis of the available data, I believe the best course of action is somewhat risky.
We talked about it earlier. We want to kill that elite because it makes the grunts run around in frenzy. That actually makes it harder for the sentinels to kill them because they're running around. And if there aren't enough Covenant that die in that area, then we actually skip a spawn right behind us. There's a quick trick. We hit that button twice. So what's going to happen is there are a couple enemies here who spawned, but the game actually still thinks that the door is closed because we hit it at very precise times twice. So going down here, we're not going to face any enemies. We're going to grab a rocket launcher and a Banshee, and then we're actually going to have to fly back up. The reason we have to fly back up is because since the game thinks the door is still closed, it's not going to activate any of the triggers that we need. So remember back on AOTCR, the other snowy level, there are a bunch of triggers that we just straight up skipped. There were no enemies for the whole game, and that's very possible with this level too. You can just fly around, have no enemies, and everything would be great, except for the fact that the level end trigger doesn't work. That's the only problem. So we actually have to go back up here so that the game thinks the door is open, even though it's going to start closing now. And then all the enemies in this area are going to spawn.
But we need to buy some time in case the monitor or his sentinels find a way to activate Halo's final weapon.
And yeah, there's a lot of unskippable triggers in this level. It would be so cool like to route this with, you know, skip triggers, but it's you're pretty much just gonna have to casual through it.
There's some things we can do to make it a little speedier.
Yeah.
The power levels are enormous. I can't even begin to calculate the pulse's range.
There are 3 of these generators that we have to blow up through the level. We blow it up with a little EMP thing. It takes away our shield, some game mechanic. The game actually is so brutal because for the generator number 2, it's actually going to be way harder than that. The game's going to take away your shields because you blew up the generator and then spawn a bunch of enemies around you, but we'll get there.
Move out and I'll mark the target with a nav point when we get closer. Wait, we should commandeer one of those Banshees. We'll need it to reach the pulse generator in time. Head through that door. That's the way to the next canyon.
This room, we're going to distract the enemies a little bit by walking over here and waving hi through the window. And then we're just going to do a nade jump out of the room.
Yeah. The enemy shooting the glass, like breaking the glass, makes them distracted from me. So they a second, and I can just do the little nade jump there.
Couple precisely placed plasma grenades here. Spawn kill a couple of guys. In this next room, we're actually going to wait here for a couple of between the Covenant and the Flood up ahead, and we just want to let that progress so they get distracted and we can walk up here and throw some grenades through the window. All of that looks kind of slow, It's actually the fastest way to do that because there are so many enemies packing this room that if you tried to run through, you would get demolished. You notice we did that and we're still on 1 red.
1 red going into this next bridge is super scary, so I'll have to take this kinda safe.
Well, Sleepless Blue donated $10 to let you know that they have all the luck from the Halo 3 community, Garish. Incredible run so far. Bump some flood and save some frames.
Dude, nice stick.
Nice.
Oh.
This is actually tough because we're being shot from in front, from behind, and from the other bridge on the other side. We are going to have to cross that bridge again, coming back the second way, and the second bridge is actually harder than the first one.
Yep.
Notice we're killing some of the enemies over there, just so it's a little easier when we come back the second time. The room we're entering right now is called Hell Room. You can guess why it's called that.
Yeah, actually, 3 years ago, used super safe strats for this, but because we must have adapted to new strats to go fast. So, oh yeah.
Ooh.
Well, that's the downside.
Yeah.
You can get killed pretty randomly.
Especially with 1 red.
Yep.
You can kind of see us crouching under this window. Halo is actually a stealth game.
Yep.
So this is the other hallway I talked about, where there are a bunch of floods standing here, and then the game decides they want a dude with a rocket.
Hi.
Yep.
So yeah, TB, like we talked about, insanely difficult level, very punishing, especially on 1 red.
Hopefully I can get the checkpoint here this time. I think I should get it. There we go.
Nice.
Okay.
Good.
There's a rocket guy. Good news is we do have a health pack coming up before the second bridge.
Oh no. Yeah. Hopefully
We do want to kill all those enemies because they could eat a checkpoint here. We do really want to get this checkpoint before the second bridge.
There we go.
All right, so there are 2 Banshees flying around. There are a bunch of flood the entire length of the bridge. And like I talked about on the level Halo, the second level, Banshees want nothing more than to splatter you. And the good news is they show up on the map. The mini-map in the bottom left is a big red dot, so you can kind of... Oh, bad news is you've got a lot to worry about.
I remember when we used to take out the Banshees before you started crossing this bridge, and how there was like a rocket strat for that, but now it's just run through.
Run through.
It's pretty crazy.
And now we're across with full health. That's really good.
Yeah, that just shows the inconsistency of this level. Like the first time I and the next time I didn't lose a single bar of health. Now there is actually a thing that you can save time with. It saves like literally 1 second, but hopefully I can get it. For some reason, when this elevator is going down and you run at this wall at a precise time, you can actually clip inside it. Let's see if I can get it. Oh, I didn't get it.
Oh, close.
Yeah, it saves like 1-2 seconds maybe.
This area of the game kind of wants us to walk around this central room, but we're just going to do a cute little grenade jump to get over a wall. Nice.
I hope not.
Sometimes you can actually rocket the ghost to get it closer to you. Unfortunately, that time I think it hit an enemy or something.
Yeah, the grunt got a little too close and it actually hit the grunt, so...
That's sacrificing yourself to the cause.
But yeah, we can just pick up a little health pack here, some extra rockets, and then we'll be on our way to the second generator.
Garish brother gave us $5 and says, "Whirl recce or go home."
Sadly, I don't think that's possible. The current world record, I don't remember how many deaths it has, but just a few, and this run already has multiple.
Nate223 gives $15 to say, "Shout out to Shattermage. Ever think that you would be here supporting a great cause when we were doing silly stuff looking for shortcuts back in college playing Halo? Good luck, Garish."
Thank you. And now this room has the second pulse generator we have to destroy, and blood packed into close quarters.
Yeah, and once he hits the generator, he's going to have no shield, so...
He's going to have no shield, and the game's going to spawn a bunch of enemies in.
Yep.
That's really good. So now we'll just basically blow everything we have to try to exit that.
That is a chain reaction. Like I said earlier, if there's a grenade on the ground and there's another explosion near it, it can just chain react like that. And the dumb thing about chain reactions is also that if an enemy shoot an enemy with a rocket or something like that, and the enemy that dies from the rocket, if they drop a grenade, like even that can chain react. I think that's what happened there. So users can't about it sometimes.
Right here, it's actually faster to just let the Banshee fall.
One of the big run coming up here. We used to take the ghost that's in that cave I just passed through. It goes through this door that's coming up here, but you can actually get the Banshee through the door. The collision is really weird and it actually works.
Yeah, the game developers kind of wanted you to get out and walk for the rest of the level. But, you know, they didn't count on this.
And there we go.
There's 2 to hit, though, to spawn enemies.
And also to continue the rest of the level.
Yeah.
Also, I have and I don't think I got a checkpoint before the door, so if I die, that's gonna be really bad. Okay, nice.
Nice.
Walking's for...
We did get a checkpoint there.
We like to use vehicles, it's much faster.
So, there's a trigger that's tied to us killing at least 5 enemies here. And spawn kill them. And now we can move on.
I want to take a very specific path if you follow me, especially since I'm on 2 bars of red.
Yeah, and the triggers you're talking about, again, they're all at ground level because the game expects you to be walking here. So we have to go in and explicitly, and now we can fly to the final objective, which is that orange marker.
And now we should talk about the next level, keys. It has the biggest skip in the game. The biggest skip in the game.
Yeah. So when we come into the next one, what you'll notice is the game is actually spawning us into a section that is very close. It's literally the place where we want to go. The room off to the right of us is where we're trying wants you to take this huge convoluted path, actually exiting the ship and then finding your way back in to get there. We're speedrunners, so we don't put up with that. So what we're going to do is a little trick on this shield here. We're going to exploit the collision box of this shield in somewhat of a similar way as we did with flood bumps. And the way the shield is right now, the shield isn't there, collision box doesn't exist. When the shield comes back, when we stop shooting it, it'll come back, and the collision box will actually push us through the ceiling, way out of bounds. And then we can walk on rafters. We actually wanted to kill that guy at a specific time because he holds a checkpoint, or the game gives you a checkpoint when all the enemies are dead. Oh, so that's close. That's really close. This trick is incredibly precise, insanely pixel perfect. Oh, we got it. That's awesome. But we're not done yet. We're not done yet. We actually have to walk on this rafter backwards, and we can't see anything. Oh,
that's why we weren't done yet.
He garished it. I'm sorry. I had to.
You had to. That's fine. So here are the rafters. We actually can't see anything because our last known location was in that room that you can see, and that's where the game is allowing stuff to spawn. That's awesome. One thing that expect us to come from there, right? The game actually expects us to come from this hallway, so we had to go over there, get a trigger, and now it'll spawn all the enemies. The enemies, though, their AI is broken, so they're just kind of standing there. Unfortunately, we do have to. If we don't kill them, they'll come to life in this cutscene that's coming up when we go talk to Captain Keys, and they can kill us in the cutscene. So that's Captain Keys. He looks a little different.
Put on a few pounds.
And now we punch him to the face.
No human life signs detected. The captain, he's one of them. We can't let the flood get off this ring. You know what he'd expect. What he'd want.
I actually used to think Chief was a girl because Cortana was talking during this. It was very confusing.
All right, so we got the captain's cybernetic chip, I think. Allow us to go back to the POA and do. There's a distraction grenade as well. We threw the grenade. Enemies saw it before they saw us, so they just stare at it like idiots. And now we're just kind of running our way to the end of the level. Pretty strategically, we can take 0 damage as we fall. And are you going to do a shield bump here, just for fun?
Make sure you crouch before you land.
Nope.
Well, that's all right. We had to wait for these bands, and they're actually kind of glitched. They go through walls, they fly crazy fast. You can get to fun places with it.
They're invincible.
And now this cutscene is
the cutscene's broken.
If you fly the back place, it somehow just completely deletes the map somehow. I don't know.
And
So this is the
final
mall.
level.
This is the final level of the mall. We're back. We're back at the Pillar of Autumn, and like Cortana was saying, we're gonna go try to activate a self-destruct sequence. We're actually gonna skip the area where the self-destruct sequence happens. It seems like we skipped a flood spawn there because we went too fast. That's fine.
And now my main objective right now is to get a shotgun as soon as possible.
Oof. Oh man.
And there was a carrier. I did not know this.
From there, we can use the captain's neural implants to initiate an
There are some pretty dangerous parts of this way. Just a ton of area. And
Yeah,
Flood can drop grenades just like anybody else. And we get a shotgun here. That's nice.
And just like the last level, this level also has not as big as the last one, but
yeah, so like I said, we're supposed to be going and activating a self-destruct sequence. We're actually not going to go to the bridge trick called Cafe Bump. We're going to go over the cafeteria and walking on very specific points. We can use this door, which is getting hit open by the hunters, to get out of bounds, and then we can get on top of ledges, which are really hard to walk on. We're shooting the shotgun here to shake the player camera, actually, and try to get the camera in the next room so we can see it. And this entire ceiling is not walkable. You can only walk on light fixtures, on the top of pillars.
Yeah, and some of these are paper thin, so that was
Nice.
really
That was
impressive.
nice.
And now, the next hallway has a rocket flood, and I really want this rocket launcher. Sometimes it can like glitch outside the map or something, which is kind of weird. There we go.
And now we're going to pick up this overshield, not to do a grenade jump like every other time immediately, but we're going to do a cool trick later on with the extra shield that we have.
So yeah, if I lose all my shields here, it's really unfortunate since I can't pull off the trick, but we'll see what happens. Looks like so far I should be fine.
Yeah, this next trick's really cool.
So yeah.
So yeah, we want to make sure we have frag grenades selected because the game's going to take away our UI right when we're about to do this trick that involves a grenade jump. We're going to throw a grenade, and then as soon as we do the grenade jump, we're going to shoot a rocket at the ground, which is going to get us all the way to the top of the engine room.
Nice.
Alert. The monitor has disabled all command access. We can't restart the countdown. The only remaining option.
All right, so now we have to blow up the fusion reactors here. The game actually only really wants you to have one open at a time. So if you open a second one, it'll actually start to close the first one that you open, but you can kind of sneak a rocket in through as it's closing.
That leads to the primary fusion drive core. Good. Step 1 complete. We have a straight shot into
It's also really important to get out of this area quickly because the game will spawn flood at like an exponential rate. If you stay in here longer and longer, it just keeps spawning more and more flood.
There is an armory station.
And we also don't really want them to follow us into here because they can eat a checkpoint.
Fusion reactor number 1 destabilizing. Use explosives on the other 3 reactors.
Should trick here, walk out into the elevator so we kind of clip through the floor of the elevator to get the drop on that elite.
How to make these field rod grunts not shoot me. You can just jump over there. You can just keep jumping over their heads and they just stare at you and do nothing. And now the only section left is the driving section with the Warthog. So there's not too much going on, but there are a few cool things I'm gonna do.
While we're going up this elevator, we have $8 from Alien saying $2 for each time Garish got rigged on 2 betrayals.
So yeah, now we're driving the Warthog to the end of the level. One thing that I'll point out, even though it was pointed out the last time this was run, is that this entire canyon can't exist on the Pillar of Autumn. It just physically can't. There's no reason why you would design a spaceship with a huge drivable canyon in it. And I don't even think the Pillar of Autumn is this long.
It's about a fraction of the distance, really.
Yeah.
But it's a fun end to the game.
Yeah.
One thing you'll note, Garish is actually kind of slaloming through these pillars really nicely. That's really hard to do on the original game on Xbox, but you can actually turn the Warthog a lot faster.
PC Master Race wins once again.
Looks like Garish is not going to go through the middle of this room. There are 3 sentinels that are sitting there.
Yep.
And if you run them over, they can blow up, flip the hog, and the hog can fall on you and you'll die.
Shoutouts to Desk Soul, who lost the world record to Sentinels.
This is the third of the 4 of these kind of rooms. Each room's kind of different. Actually, the third and fourth are the same as the second and first in reverse.
I also heard that this is where the directors of Fast and Furious got their inspiration.
So one final room for us to show off our slaloming skills.
Yeah, I guess since there's not too much to talk about, we could give us shout-outs to HaloRuns.com, the ultimate Halo speedrunning site.
Boy.
So if you want to learn the Halo speedruns, if you enjoy Halo speedruns at all in general, so HaloRuns.com, they're the right way to go.
So this is the platform where Echo 419, our Pelican friend, is supposed to pick us up. She's not going to make it, so we're just going to keep going.
Echo 419! She's gone.
Just a reminder that
He's gone.
Just a reminder that we have Azure Striker Gunvolt coming up. We're only $200 away from the Shovel Knight fight, so keep donating towards that, guys.
So now we are at the very end of the run.
More tricks coming up.
Yeah, I really hope I'm gonna nail this next one. It doesn't have too big of a purpose.
Yeah, this trick is called the 360, and I think we're going to need a little bit of help from chat. So if we could have some Kevin Turtles, please.
Yo.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Looks good. Looks good.
Nice.
There we go. It actually does have a slight purpose. If you just drive off that platform normally and straight ahead, there's a pretty big chance that you'll just straight up flip the Warthog, it'll crush you, and you'll die. Doing the 360 kind of keeps you the right way, and you'll land.
And now the final boss, the barrels. You can just kind of wiggle yourself through these barrels. You're not supposed to actually get the Warthog through. And get ready on time, by the way. And time.
Uh, 1:24:51.
1:24. That's really good for a marathon, I think.
Here we go.
My goal 5. So there we go.
Nice. Dude, nice.
Just met it.
But yeah, like Garish said, if you want to check out
無事エン
any
ディ
other
ン
Halo
グが
speedruns,
見
or
ら
you
れ
like
て
what
ま
you
す
saw
ね。
on runs.com, I want to give a shout outs to the people who created HaloRuns.com. That's what got all of us into it, just the huge community. Go Ropes Run back in 2014 was really huge. You can
なんか抱き合って終わった。
So yeah, that's Halo.
Any other shout outs from you guys?
ヘイロー。
We just covered it.
Shut them down, but leave them later.
Shoutouts to Double O Spo. Funny line right here.
ヘイローの輪が、ヘイローの輪なのかな、これが。ね、崩されて。とか。あ
Did anyone else make it?
Scanning. Just Dustin Echoes.
Who's Dustin Echoes?
Rip Dustin Echoes.
Shout outs to Dustin Echoes.
For Earth. An entire Covenant armada obliterated and the flood. We had no choice. It's finished.
No. I think we're just getting started.
そしてマスクの中はわからない。
Yeah, that's Halo. Thank you, GDQ, for this opportunity to run the game. I really appreciate it. And I want to give a shout out to all of my Twitch viewers who have been supporting me over the past few years with the subs, with everything. It just means so a lot to me. And finally get to these events is just, it's amazing. So, I think I'm done here. Thanks for watching.
はい、というわけでですね、
That was without a doubt one of the best runs I've ever gotten the honor to see at GDQ. Very
調整
entertaining,
時
guys.
間、
Thank
調
you
整
so
違う
much.
次へのねセットアップの時間が
During the end of that run, we had a couple of donations come in.
時間になりました。ここでね配信者の交代をしますので、一旦配信が切れます。ここまでね見ていただいたと思いました。引き続きSGDQ まだありますからね、自分の興味のあるゲームとかね、ぜひチェックして、ぜひね、見に来ていただきたいなと思います。というわけで、じゃあ、ここで一旦切ります。
150 Aggression saying I've watched a couple of GDQs before.